Today we're diving once again into the mysteries of Siberia, Russia. We've got 5 more strange stories about people who vanished there. But why? That's what we're here to find out. From strange encounters to downright puzzling situations, we'll uncover these chilling real stories that leave even the smartest minds scratching their heads. In the snowy winter of 1959, 10 people set off on a trip to the mountains in Russia. They were led by a man named Igor Dyatlov. Their plan was to hike through the Ural Mountains, a big challenge, but they were all experienced hikers. Before they left, they packed their bags with food, clothes, and all they needed for the trip. They were excited and ready for the adventure. Their goal was to reach a place called Otorten, a tough journey that would take several days. As they began their hike, the weather was cold but clear. They walked for many days, crossing through the snow-covered land. They laughed and talked, enjoying each other's company as they went. But then one of them got sick and had to go back. The rest decided to keep going, even though they missed their companion. Days went by, and on February 20th, something strange happened. They were supposed to send a message, but nothing came. Their families and friends waited anxiously, but there was no word from the hikers. They knew something was wrong. A search party was organized to find them. People went out into the mountains, calling their names and looking for any sign of them. What they found was a mystery that would forever leave people with a question mark in their heads. They found the hikers' tent, but it was torn open from the inside. Clothes and belongings were scattered around as if they had left in a hurry. Footprints led away from the tent, but there was no sign of where they went. Days passed, and the searchers found the first bodies. They were frozen in the snow with strange injuries. Some had broken bones, while others had burns on their skin. It was like nothing anyone had ever seen before. More bodies were found in the following months, each one adding to the confusion. Some had died from the cold, while others had injuries that couldn't be explained. The mystery deepened as theories emerged. One theory was that they were caught in an avalanche, a sudden rush of snow that buried them alive. Another theory was that they were attacked by animals like bears or wolves, but none of the theories could explain everything that happened. Some of the bodies were found with high levels of radiation, adding another layer of mystery to the story. How could they have been exposed to radiation in the middle of the mountains? It was a question that no one could answer. As time passed, the mystery of Dyatlov Pass became famous around the world. People wrote books and made movies about it, trying to solve the puzzle. But even today, nobody knows for sure what happened to those hikers. Some say it was a secret government experiment gone wrong. Others believe it was just a tragic accident. But the truth remains hidden in the snowy mountains, waiting for someone to uncover it. The search for answers continues, with experts and enthusiasts alike poring over the evidence in search of clues. Every detail is scrutinized, every theory tested, but the truth remains hidden. Some believe that the hikers stumbled upon something they weren't meant to see, something so dangerous that it led to their demise. Others think that they fell victim to natural forces beyond their control, like an unexpected avalanche or a sudden storm. But perhaps the most chilling theory of all is that they were targeted by something not of this world. Some speculate that they encountered extraterrestrial beings or stumbled upon a secret military operation involving advanced technology. Whatever the truth may be, the mystery of Dyatlov Pass continues to haunt us. What if there's still something out there waiting to be found? What if the key to solving the mystery is right in front of us, hidden in plain sight? As the years go by, the mystery of Dyatlov Pass continues to captivate and confuse many people. As we ponder the events of that tragic day in 1959, we are left with more questions than answers. What really happened to Igor Dyatlov and his companions? And will we ever uncover the truth behind one of the most enduring mysteries of our time? Only time will tell. But until then, the story of Dyatlov Pass remains a chilling reminder of the mysteries that lie hidden in the most unexpected of places. In the city of Novosibirsk, there lived a teenage boy named Arthur Arutyunian. He was just like any other 16-year-old with dreams and aspirations tucked away in his heart. It was December 28, 2012, when Arthur left his home for college, not knowing it would be the last time his family would see him. The day started off like any other. Arthur's family bid him farewell as he set out to take his exams at college. Little did they know, their ordinary day was about to take a chilling turn. As Arthur made his way to college, something peculiar happened. He visited a disco at school number 98 where he accidentally left his phone behind. Instead of continuing on his way, Arthur decided to return to retrieve it. This decision would set off a chain of events that would leave his family and authorities puzzled for years to come. After retrieving his phone, Arthur headed to the Reknoy Vauxhall metro station. Witnesses later reported seeing him there around 8:40 p.m. However, this would be the last confirmed sighting of Arthur. Days passed by and Arthur never returned home. His family grew increasingly worried, fearing the worst while desperately clinging to hope. Marina Arutyunian, Arthur's mother, refused to accept that her son was gone. She tirelessly searched for any clue that could lead to his whereabouts, fueled by a mother's unconditional love. The investigation into Arthur's disappearance revealed more questions than answers. Authorities speculated that Arthur may have taken his own life due to unrequited love, but Marina strongly opposed this theory, citing the joyous celebration of Arthur's recent birthday with the family. Despite Marina's protests, the investigation pressed on. Volunteers joined the search, plastering Arthur's photos across the city in hopes of finding any leads. However, despite their efforts, Arthur's real whereabouts remained a mystery. In a twist of fate, Arthur's phone was found to have stopped working near the Reknoy Vauxhall metro station. Despite extensive searches, the phone itself was never recovered. The lack of physical evidence only deepened the mystery surrounding Arthur's disappearance. The days that passed by eventually turned into years, but Marina refused to give up hope. She continued to keep Arthur's social media profiles active, hoping that her son would one day return home. Her determination knew no bounds despite the passage of time. In 2014, a potential breakthrough occurred when a body was discovered near the city of Kolpashevo in the Tomsk region. Authorities believed it to be Arthur, but Marina was not convinced. Discrepancies in the body's characteristics cast doubt on its identity, leaving Marina to question whether her son was truly gone. Despite her doubts, the body was buried, marking a dark moment for Arthur's family. Marina's pursuit of the truth led her to challenge the official conclusions, initiating legal action to contest the burial. Over the years, Marina and her husband Enver traveled to remote locations and encountered individuals who claimed to have seen Arthur. Each lead offered a glimmer of hope, yet none led to Arthur's discovery. In 2018, a resident of Kemerovo reported seeing a man resembling Arthur at a construction site. The man, known as Rustam, claimed to have lost his memory. Despite efforts to locate him, Rustam remained elusive, leaving Marina with more questions than answers. Tragedy struck in 2020 when Enver, Arthur's father, passed away. His heart could no longer bear the weight of his son's loss, leaving Marina to carry on the search alone. Despite her grief, Marina remained undeterred in her search for answers. In June 2023, Alexander Bastrykin, head of the Investigative Committee of Russia, ordered the resumption of the search for Arthur. Despite the passage of 11 years, Marina's hope remained strong. She continued to believe that her son was alive, waiting for the day when he would return home. Kostya Krivosheev was an 8-year-old boy living in Ozerki 6th, a small village situated in the countryside. On the morning of June 21, 2013, Kostya's routine took an unexpected turn, marking the beginning of a mystery that would grip the community for years to come. Kostya's day started like any other. He lived with his grandparents and stepfather in a simple house on the outskirts of the village. His grandfather and stepfather, both experienced woodsmen, often went into the nearby forest to gather firewood for the winter months. On that particular day, they decided to bring Kostya along, hoping to teach him the skills of the trade. The three set out early in the morning. As they ventured deeper into the forest, Kostya's grandfather instructed him on the different types of trees and the best methods for chopping wood. Kostya listened intently, eager to prove himself to the older men. After an hour of work, Kostya's stepfather realized they needed more supplies from the car. He left Kostya and his grandfather behind, promising to return shortly. Left alone, Kostya continued to help his grandfather, stacking wood and exploring the surrounding area. 15 minutes passed and Kostya's stepfather returned to the clearing, only to find his worst nightmare had come true. Kostya was nowhere to be seen. Frantic, he called out for the boy, searching the immediate area for any sign of movement, but there was no response, no trace of Kostya's whereabouts. The family's panic quickly spread throughout the village, mobilizing a search effort unlike any other. Villagers, police officers, and volunteers combed through the forest, calling out Kostya's name in hopes that he would answer. Dogs were brought in to track his scent, but the dense undergrowth made progress slow and arduous. As the hours turned into days, the search intensified. Helicopters circled overhead, scanning the landscape for any sign of the missing boy. Dive teams explored nearby bodies of water, fearing Kostya may have fallen victim to an accident. But despite their best efforts, Kostya remained missing. His fate, unknown. Theories emerged to explain Kostya's disappearance, but none offered concrete answers. Some speculated that he had wandered off into the forest, becoming lost in its vast expanse. Others believed he may have encountered a wild animal, falling victim to the dangers that lurked within. And still, there were those who suspected foul play, pointing fingers at those closest to Kostya. But without evidence to support these claims, they remained nothing more than speculation. Months and eventually years passed, but the mystery of Kostya Krivoshev's disappearance remained unsolved. His family held out hope for his safe return, clinging to the belief that one day he would walk back into their lives. But as time passed, their hope waned, replaced by a sense of resignation and despair. What if Kostya had encountered a dangerous animal or stumbled into a hidden crevice, unable to call for help? Despite the search efforts, the dense foliage and terrain made it difficult to cover every inch of ground. Perhaps Kostya had simply wandered off the beaten path, succumbing to the hazards of the forest. What if foul play was involved? Suspicion fell on those closest to Kostya, but without evidence, these accusations remained unproven. The lack of concrete leads left investigators baffled, unable to piece together the events leading to Kostya's disappearance. Years passed, but the memory of Kostya's disappearance lingered. His fate may never be known, leaving his disappearance an unsolved puzzle, forever ending in a question mark. In a small village called Travnoye, situated in the Novosibirsk region of Russia, life was simple and uncomplicated. Families went about their daily routines, and children roamed freely in the verdant surroundings. But one summer day in 2015, the peacefulness of the surroundings was shattered by the sudden disappearance of a young boy named Salim Samoylov. Salim was a cheerful 12-year-old with a mop of brown hair and a smile that could brighten anyone's day. On July 13th, like any other day, he set out on a seemingly mundane errand to dispose of animal waste in the nearby forest. Dressed in his casual attire of a white t-shirt, black shorts, and sturdy galoshes, he waved goodbye to his parents and promised to return soon. Hours passed, and as the sun began its descent, Salim's absence became a cause for concern. His parents waited anxiously for his return, but as the night fell, their worry grew into dread. When Salim failed to come home by nightfall, they knew something was terribly wrong. The next day, the village was abuzz with frantic activity. Local authorities were summoned, and a search party was organized to comb through the nearby forest in search of the missing boy. Helicopters circled overhead, and trained dogs sniffed the ground for any trace of Salim. Villagers, too, joined the search, leaving no stone unturned in their mission to find him. Weeks passed, and still, there was no sign of Salim. Despite their best efforts, the search yielded no results, and the once bustling village now lay shrouded in an eerie silence. As time passed, theories began to emerge about what might have happened to Salim. Some speculated that he had fallen victim to a wild animal roaming the forest, while others believed he had been abducted by unknown assailants. But with no concrete evidence to support any of these theories, the truth remained a mystery. Months turned into years, and still Salim's disappearance remained unsolved. The village of Travnoye, once a close-knit community, found itself divided by suspicion and fear. Families kept their children indoors, and the forest that was once a playground became a place of dread. Despite the passage of time, Salim's parents never gave up hope of finding their son. They clung to the belief that one day he would return home safe and sound. But as the years went by, their hope began to fade, replaced by a deep sense of sorrow and longing. The disappearance of Salim Samoylov left a lasting effect on the village of Travnoye. And as the years passed, what if scenarios played out in the minds of Salim's loved ones? What if he had taken a different path that day? What if someone had seen something but was too afraid to come forward? What if Salim was still out there somewhere waiting to be found? But until concrete evidence emerges to shed light on the mystery of Salim's disappearance, the truth will remain hidden, buried beneath layers of speculation and uncertainty. And so, the search continues, fueled by a determination to bring closure to a community haunted by unanswered questions. In a small village called Verkhrasnoyarka, located in the northern district of the Novosibirsk region, something strange happened during the warm days of summer in 2012. A 13-year-old boy named Alexei Bakun, who loved adventure, went missing, leaving his family and neighbors puzzled and worried. Before he disappeared, Alexei lived a normal life. He went to school, played with his friends, and helped his mom at home. But Alexei also had some struggles because of his mental health, which made things tough for him sometimes. One night on June 10, 2012, around 11 p.m., Alexei felt restless. Maybe he wanted to clear his head or explore the quiet streets under the night sky. Without telling his family, he took his red Patriot bicycle and quietly left the house. With just the moonlight to guide him, Alexei rode into the darkness, vanishing into the night. What if Alexei's curiosity led him too far from home? The next morning, on June 11th, Alexei was gone. His mom, Nadezhda, woke up to find her son missing. Panic set in as she searched everywhere, but Alexei was nowhere to be found. Worried, Nadezhda called the police, hoping they could help find her son. Days passed, but there was still no sign of Alexei. The whole village came together, searching the forests, abandoned buildings, and riverbanks, hoping for any clue. But Alexei remained like a ghost, vanished without a trace. Then, one day, on a lonely road outside the village, they found something, a bright red bicycle, Alexei's bike, left abandoned by the roadside. But there was no sign of the boy. Finding the bike only deepened the mystery. What if Alexei had left his bike and wandered off? As time went by, the village grew quiet with worry. Nadezhda held on to hope, praying for her son's return. But weeks turned into months, and still there was no sign of Alexei. Months turned into a year, and still Alexei's disappearance weighed heavily on the village. Every corner held a reminder of the boy who had vanished without a trace. Nadezhda refused to give up hope, clinging to the belief that one day her son would come home. But as time passed, the memories of Alexei began to fade for some. Life in the village continued, but there was always a sense of loss lingering in the air. The once vibrant community now felt dread every time they were reminded of the boy who mysteriously disappeared. Despite the passage of time, Nadezhda remained determined to find her son. She visited the places they used to go together, hoping to find some clue, some sign that would lead her to Alexei. But each search yielded nothing, leaving her heart heavy with despair. The villagers, too, continued to search, their efforts driven by the hope that Alexei would one day return. They combed through the forests, scoured the riverbanks, and checked every abandoned building, but Alexei remained a mystery, as if he had vanished into thin air. Years went by, and still, there was no sign of Alexei. Nadezhda's hope began to fade, replaced by a deep sadness that seemed to consume her. But even in the darkest moments, Nadezhda refused to give up. She held onto the memories of her son, clinging to the belief that somewhere out there, he was still alive. And so she continued to search, determined to solve the mystery of Alexei's disappearance. The story of Alexei Bacon's disappearance remains a haunting mystery, a reminder of life's uncertainties and the mysteries that lie just beyond our understanding. Even now, his whereabouts are and probably will forever remain unknown.